What kind of diet do I follow? Well, I'll tell you. I call it a 5-on-2 diet. Basically, during the week, the protein levels are high. Carbs are moderate. I try to take in probably the most carbs, probably breakfast time, and probably after I train. As far as protein sources go, eggs, red meat, some protein drinks, chicken, tuna, stuff like that. However, I do, I can't just eat whatever like I did when I was younger. The metabolism just, changes as you get older. So you got to kind of change with it and make it work for you. So what I do, I found if I have too many fats and too many carbs in the same meal, I feel sluggish, feel, tired. So what I do, you got to figure, if you're eating red meat, eggs, stuff like that, there's more, healthy fats, but there's fats in there. That is an energy source. But if I throw in too much rice, too much oatmeal, too much carbs with it, I'm getting too much energy source. I'm getting too much, my body's not going to use all of it. So for me, it's better if I combined like a red meat and, have some greens with red meat. And I'll feel great. But if I throw in too much rice with that, I'm going to feel bogged out, sluggish, tired. Well, you got to figure, red meat, stuff like that, eggs, especially red meat, digests a lot slower because of fats in it. So you're going to get energy from fats. You really will. So, but if you're going to eat chicken, fish and stuff like that, then I think you could have like your rice, potatoes, stuff like that. And you'll feel more balanced, have energy. I think, at least for me, it's a mistake to have too much, bunch of red meat and potatoes together. You get too much fuel shot at one time. I think it's, for me. And that's what you got to do. You got to find out what works for you. I think for the vast majority, I think a lot of people are like this. I really do. I think you'll get good results, and you don't have to eat a ton of carbs and a ton of. You do have to keep the protein up if you're trying to get big muscles. You can't eat there are some out there can eat once a day. I think I mentioned this before. Dude eat like a bird, and he grew muscle. Okay, drank Budweiser, smoked weed, and still grew. There's not that many of him. Not that many of him. If he would have did it right, magic would have happened. Okay? Magic. He would have grew and just, Those, I'm not like that. I got good genetics, but I don't have the best genetics in the world. If I was given anything or blessed with anything, it was, I would say drive. Drive will get you far, man. You can make up for drive with drive. If you're going to say against this guy and he got the best genetics in the world, but he trains terrible and he diets terrible and stuff, you could come out on top. You could look better than him because of your drive and doing everything right. But the sad truth, though, if that guy does everything right too, and he's doing everything right and to the T, he's probably going to beat you. That's the sad truth. That is. That is the sad truth. If he's just a genetic, just perfect proportions, everything, he's probably going to kick your ass. But sometimes when somebody's given everything, I was given certain body parts that respond easy, and certain other, others that don't. But I don't know. Tom Platz said himself, he wasn't given the best genetics. I would say legs, he was given a little bit of something there. But nobody trained like him. Okay? Nobody trained their legs like him. There's probably a lot of guys out there that train legs hard, but they didn't train legs like that. That's why he had legs like that. Okay? But that's kind of what I do. And then weekend comes, so in other words, some days my carbs are lower. If I'm eating more red meat that day, my carbs are probably going to be lower. The overall calories might be higher though, because fats have more calories per milligram or whatever. I don't get in all the macros and shit. I just know, what to eat, what not to eat, stuff like that. And then some days my carbs will be higher. The days my carbs will be higher is probably the days I won't eat as much red meat, eggs, and stuff like that. So it's all about combining the foods that work for you. And that's what I do. Now, when I go to like lean down and really lean down, I want to really get lean. Well, then I'm going to bring my fats and carbs down. I'm not going to cut them out. I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to cut them down. But then weekends, what I'm doing now is I'll kind of eat still clean, but the fats will be higher and the carbs will be higher. So I'm kind of loading up on the weekend. Right now I got some Five Guys with me here. Good old Five Guys, man. I got some fats and I got carbs, sodium and everything. But tomorrow I'll get back on my diet, and that stuff will be stored after I train. When I train tomorrow, my muscles will be full. I'll have a good pump, la-di-da-di-da-di, right? As far as my training goes, I cycle off between doing, Dorian Yates type style training, which is, shorter workouts, all out, negatives, forced reps, balls to the wall, killing yourself in 1 or 2 sets. To me, that type of training works really well. It works. But for me, it does not work long term. For me. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not hating on, the guys that do HIIT year round. I'm just saying, but I do know of one other system that works very well for me too. And believe it or not, it's high volume. Yes, high volume does work. I get a different look with the same diet, doing the same exercises, just in a different way. Now, I did this before, and I should have did it longer. And actually, I might have even did it forever. I don't know. The great Danny Padilla used to do this. They call him the Giant Killer. Look him up. 5'2" at 18-inch arms in contest shape. Perfect proportions. Got totally screwed over at the 1981 Olympia. Should have beat everybody. But he didn't. Politics, man, I'm telling you. But anyway, what he did not pyramid his weights. After he warmed up, he used the same weight on all 5 sets, but he only rested a minute between sets. What's happening there is you're hitting the slow twitch fibers. At the beginning, you're not going to failure, but you hit if you pick the right weight by set 4 and 5, you're hitting close to failure. Probably maybe 1 in a tank, maybe none in a tank, I don't know. But you're resting a minute between sets. So you're hitting your red twitch fibers at the beginning. Toward the end, you're annihilating the white. It's a perfect combination. Believe it or not, you're doing a lot of sets in a little bit of time, and the pumps are 100 times better with that type of workout. And it doesn't put a lot of I feel that I can recuperate better with that workout than I can with heavy duty. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. Probably. But the thing is, one type of style is not better than the other. But for myself, I feel that I'll do 3-4 months of one, 3-4 months of another, or maybe 6 months of that, 6 months of that. Who knows? I might even go a year on this volume. I don't know. Right now, it's working pretty well. My joints ain't hurting. I'm getting. I know the total look will be different on me. I'll have a fuller look by the end of this. I'll be with the same diet. I'll be fuller, but I'll have more of a denser look. I just think I'll have a bigger look like this. I'll be lean. I'll be fuller. Won't be as hard training like this, but it's a different look. But my joints and tendons won't hurt as bad training like this. So that's what I'm doing now. But they're both good. They both work. It's all about getting your mind in the muscle. You can't just lift the weight from A to B. You can't, you think about the muscle, work the muscle through the range that you feel it, not all the way up, not all the way down. I don't believe in that shit, honestly. I don't. There is a resting point somewhere in that movement. Keep the pressure on the muscle. Get your mind in the muscle. Go to town, baby. That's all there is to it. Sleep well, eat well, and train well. And I will see you tomorrow down in the dungeon. Later, guys.